was wild, free, cruel, tender, genius, crazy, wrong as he could be, right as he could be. He's a human being. He's a complicated human being, though. I never met him before, but his spirit means the world to me.
Me as well.
I tell you.
Well, I think every comic. I've never met a single comic that doesn't think he's one of the most important figures in the history of the art. Probably the most important. It's like him and Lenny Bruce, in my opinion, and then Kinison later. But Kinison for a much, much shorter time.
Who would be the greatest female comic artist,
I think Roseanne Barr.
Roseanne?
Yeah.
Roseanne is profoundly talented.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
She doesn't get the credit she deserves because she's legitimately mentally ill. And that's one of the things I had on the podcast to highlight with her.
Legitimately mentally ill?
She was hit by a car when she was 15. And
I didn't know that.
She spent 9 months in a mental hospital.
Really?
Yeah. She lost her ability to count. She was very good at mathematics before that. And then after the car accident, the severe head injury changed her personality.
That's really?
Yeah, same with Kinison. Kinison was hit by a car when he was young as well and changed his personality radically too. Head injuries make people very impulsive, very wild and impulsive, and oftentimes a slave to their own impulses. And I think Kinison was a big example of that, as was Roseanne. But Roseanne was the first really loud, brash, almost male female comedian who could kill like a man. You know, she was.
But what about the Joan
proud.
Rivers and the
Oh, yeah, she
Phyllis
was great,
Dillers
too.
and so? Well, I love
They
Monique.
were great.
Monique gets to me. She touches my soul every time she's on the stage.
Have you ever seen Miss Pat?
No.
Miss Pat's a monster.
Really?
She's a monster, and she's had a crazy life. She's been on this podcast a couple times. Her life was insane. I mean, she was selling crack when she was 14. She had a baby when she was 14. Or was it 13? She was pregnant at 13 with a married man. Had a couple kids with him. Yeah,
Jesus.
she is
God bless her,
so
too.
funny. She's so wild and funny. Yeah.
But there's something about and it goes back to Aristophanes, it goes back to those early comics in the history of the West who were willing to tell the truth, especially as it related to the everyday experiences of ordinary people. The first, Plato's text itself, the Republic, was grounded in an imitation of the comic writers who were the first to really delve into everyday people's experiences, not the well-to-do. That was tragedy. Tragedy only had to do with the nobility and the aristocracy. But it was comedy that dwelled into the lives of everyday people. Then Plato takes the whole form and shifts it into the dialogue and makes Socrates, of course, the grand hero. But it was Aristophanes, at least in the West, who initiated this with the clouds and frogs and so on. And it goes all the way through from Jonathan Swift to Mark Twain to Nathaniel West to the brother Ishmael Reed. I mean, these are the great American comic writers. Twain, West, Reed. And see, comic writers are